one thing that's been interesting in talking to leaders and consultants that's actually a surprise to them that they really never heard about is the difference between culture and climate, and how most of what we see out there is actually about work climate. And how does this model help you think about culture and climate and the interaction of the two?
Got it. Thanks, Tim. As I'm talking about this, I do want to mention that you have in your packets, again, some of these diagrams, some of these figures, so you have it in front of you later if you're interested in referring back to it. You know, one of the issues we have with culture is that all of a sudden everything has become culture. And so much of what people talk about when they think they're talking about culture really is not culture in terms of assumptions or values, beliefs, expectations, and the like. Much of it is organizational climate, and organizational climate is basically people's collective shared perceptions of things like systems and programs and the like within the organization, and also attitudes about the organization, sometimes called psychological climate. Perceptions correspond to what we call our causal factors, our levers for change. Okay? They're things people perceive around them. They're shared perceptions of organizational structures, for example. That's a climate factor. Involvement, the degree of involvement, that's a climatic factor that people perceive. What they do with those perceptions is basically to learn from them. And among other things, they learn from what they're perceiving what's expected within the organization. That's the culture part of it. So for many people in an organization, climate in a way drives what they believe is expected and drives the culture. And that culture in turn leads to other climatic factors, the psychological climate, people's satisfaction, motivation, their reported stress levels, and also their perceptions of how well the organization is doing in terms of adaptability, quality of service, and the like. So again, culture, things like assumptions, values, beliefs, norms, climate, perceptions, attitudes.